Hello, my beautiful peasants, and welcome back to the tavern. I almost forgot to start the stream. I'm very happy it is still one. So I started working on this model before the stream today because it's a biggin. It is 3 forms, just a really cool request. I've had a Patreon supporter that's been putting in 1 request a month. It's been this request, and it's been a 3-parter. They just put in the last part, and they're like, I can't wait any longer. So they bought priority tickets for all 3. So that's what we're doing this week. I am super excited. A little more intro info on this. Let's see. Yeah, all forms are same woman, different forms, different poses. Form 1, she is just like beaten down, imprisoned. One of her wings is burned and charred away. The other's all mangled. And then she's like kind of like kneeling in like a praying pose, kind of. Not like a hand steeple, but kind of like more like this. And then form 2, she's free. She's no longer imprisoned, and she's mad. So she has a long sword, and it's like revenge time. Form 3 is like she's fully restored. Both are, she's in her full splendor, full glory. So it's gonna be pretty cool. I'm very excited. It's gonna be a good time. Hello to Duke, Paint, our lovely mod, Reaper, and Just Lingual. Hello. It is Thrum time indeed. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I moved my room, or not really, I moved my desk. Room is still here. I just rotated it, so now I face the wall. I don't know why, it makes me much happier. So yeah. Also, there's room now right here. So if I pull up a chair right here in this space, and I scoot over a little bit, I might put my dog up there. And then you guys could see my dog when he's sleeping in his chair. He'd love sleeping in Ricky's chair. So yeah. Yeah, new camera angle. Yep. Mostly because, I don't know, I was like really stir crazy last week. So I didn't stream last week. Mostly because I just wasn't home. We were running around doing errands and it just didn't really fit into the schedule. But also like, I was just kind of sad last week. Nothing was wrong. I was just blah. And I didn't go to D&D on Saturday either. And I've missed D&D before. And my DM DM'd me. Why is that so funny? Anyway, Gwen messaged me. She's like, is everything okay? And I was like, what in the Spidey sense? Because she's never done that before. She's never messaged me like, hey, where were you? Or like, it wasn't like that, but just like, hey, are you okay? And I was like, yes, I was sad. Now I'm not sad. I just thought it was cool. It's cool when people that care about you and you care about people. And they just like, no. I gave no indications. I didn't post something cryptic on Facebook or on Discord just being like, like it was business as usual. Anyway, cool stuff. The Ricky Cam. Yes, no, the Maverick. Ooh, yeah, I like that. Maverick Cam. Absolutely. But yeah, all's good. We're good. What else? Anything important? I don't think so. We got some stuff to cook on. I might do a game stream on Friday. I might not. I'm so undecided that I did not even put it on the stream schedule, so you just need to pay attention and see if I stream on Friday or not. We'll see. All right. How about some more info here? Here is the details. Let me see. Can I share this? Yeah, it's not secret. This is the hair reference that they gave, which is gorgeous. I had a lot of fun constructing this. I can't find a way to make it less high poly. It's so high poly. It's like just her hair alone is like how much polys I usually budget for the entire character, but it is what it is. It's gorgeous. I'm not changing it. This is roughly the kind of armor they're wanting, but even as I said, I'm all for different. They're so chill. Shout out to Optimistical Studios, and then here's some references of what she would look like. So yeah. That's it. That's all they gave me. Just a couple hair pictures, and the rest of it's kind of up to me. My favorite. I'm excited. Hello, it says, it's a perfect spot next to you to have me sit there and backseat and point and stuff like I did in Peak. Yeah, that was fun. If you do have a game stream Friday, what game would it be? Probably Tiny Glade. I'd probably build some castles and we kind of just chill and zen out. It'd be a good time. All right. I think it's time to do the models. This model, I don't know why it's giving me the fear, but it is giving me the fear. I think it's because I see that I have to do 3 versions of it, and, I don't know. I don't know why. I got this. I already did the hard part. most of the, models I sculpt are pale potatoes like myself. So I was like, how do I paint black skin? I'm like, I've done it before, but I haven't done it in a while. So that's why I did the off stream, because I had to really lock in. But I did a good job. I'm really happy with it. I knew I could do her hair. I've done curly, like super curly hair before. I don't know what to call that. But yeah. Hello, Sean. Welcome in. All right. Last thing I'm going to mention is my Kickstarter project is almost over. It's closing in on $2,000, which is like fantastic. We're really happy with that. It's the Enchanted Forest project, but the big thing is if you have a model in your head that you're like, ooh, I want this, and it fit in a fae or forest or magical setting, you can back at the Enchanted Architect tier and get your model made. So you wouldn't have to wait the full queue on Patreon because it's like 8 months out. So there you go. There's a little, if you want an M3DM model, there you go. That'd be a good way to do it. And that's cool because like, I wasn't sure how that tier was going to go, but we actually have had like 7 or 8 people back at it, which one is a good chunk of money. So yay, business. And then 2, they request cool models and then it expands the Kickstarter. And yes, they go back on Patreon. Patrons get everything. They have to wait longer for requests, but that's it. Other than that, they get everything. So yeah. Yep. And yeah, Sean's already back to Kickstarter. They requested this beautiful fae dragon with butterfly wings. That is going to be amazing. I was going to sculpt that this week, and then I got this priority ticket bundle, so I'm like, I'm going to knock this out first. It's going to be good. That's enough money to add a water fountain to the basement. Let's not get crazy. But yeah, Ricky did a really good job with the graphics. They are gorgeous. And then he's working on a huge mega project right now. The man works hard. Anyway, I work hard too. I need to do the work now. Why am I so afraid to start this model? I don't know why. Okay. All right, we're doing it. Okay. All right, I'm going to pull up mod chat. If the tavern starts burning down mods, you can yell at me in Discord. I will be able to see it. If you put an interesting poll up, let me know. I will also be able to show that on screen. Polls are in our Discord almost exclusively. So if you want to vote, you got to be in Discord. All right. Let's go, I think. Oh, you're okay, Sean's. I know what you want. You don't have to put in the sketch, but if you want to, of course, I would love to share it. All right. We're locking in. I'm going to put a timer. I think I'm afraid of this model because I don't know what I'm supposed to do next right now. That's why. I'm just like, free forms, all posed, gorgeous armor. And that's obviously not doable. So what I'll do first is I will organize her subtools. Get this, and they're her subtools. I don't know why I said it like that. Anyway, I made you. They're my subtools. Anyway, I'm going to organize the subtools and then I'm going to start blocking out the armor, which I just recently did, like an armored knight commander woman. So it's going to be similar. It's going to be a good time. All right. Well, let's go. Yeah, because like her eyeballs alone are 200,000 polys. Hello. Or like 200,000 polys, and they just don't need to be. This model is going to be so dense by the end, so I kind of need to be on top of it. All right. I'm going to pull up Decimation Master, make sure I have use and keep poly paint on, and then I can bring this down. I can probably do 25,000. Yeah, there we go. So I'm taking 90% of the poly density off of this. And it should look the same. It looks soulless now because, see like before a little shiny and now it's no shiny, because we lost the material on it. I'll have to manually reapply that. If you didn't know, you could have multiple different materials in one ZBrush project. I highly recommend it, even if it is kind of tedious. All right, so this is Skin Shade. I want it to be that toy plastic, so it's a little shiny. So I'll hold spacebar, come down here, search for toy plastic, like I always have to search for it. There it is. Now she's all of her shiny, which is too much, but we don't need to worry about that. Make sure your paintbrush selected, RGB is on, and then fill, an M for material, and then fill object. It doesn't look like anything has changed, but it has. And now when you go back to Skin Shade, the eyes will stay shiny, but everything else will be that you know, the material you have selected. So yeah, bam, we took 200,000 polys off of this model. Okay, I don't know if you can merge down multiple materials. I'm not gonna find out. That's her little modesty garment thing. That's the base. There we go. The wings are pretty dense as well, but they're so cool. I want to keep them on camera for as long as possible. All right, her hair and eyelashes, those are good. Good. The body is 1 million points. Doesn't really need to be. Let's see how it does if I drop it down a subdiv. Looks exactly the same. That's what I thought. All right, awesome. Let's start getting some armor blocked out. I already have an armor set that I made on stream, and I should be able to kind of piece things from this. Full plate armor suit and armor plate. I love how okay, one of them is from 2020. What is this? Oh, this is just a default ZBrush file. I was like, I couldn't make armor in 2020. I could barely sculpt a model in 2020. I wasn't sick. I just hadn't learned how to sculpt yet. I started learning how to sculpt in 2019. In 2020, I wasn't much better. Wait, no, I had a Patreon by then. I don't know. I have no concept of time. All right, so we have this armor. Obviously, it's not mirrored or anything. It's just kind of something I come in here and I grab pieces from. I'm going to grab the reference that they provided. And again, they're not picky. Just some sort of cool armor plate. Let's just put this here. What's a nice place to put this? There. Yes. Are any polys from the hair hidden inside the head? Yeah, there's a bunch. But subtracting that is also a lot of work, so it'll all get fixed in the end. In other words, that is later Mia's problem. Because that never backfires. Okay. I'm going to merge down as many peaches. Why do I have a lisp today? Maybe I'm just dry mouth. Oh my God. All right. I've never had a lisp in my entire life, but now I'm thinking lisp. I'm gonna just speak with a lisp. Oh my God. All right. New Mia. That does not have a lisp. Okay. Lisp. Oh my God. I think it's funny now. Oh wow. I'm so easily distracted. All right. We got the breastplate. We're going to grab this little belt. I know I like that as well. I'm going to merge as many pieces down here as possible because I don't want to, you like to move one subtool over a time, and I don't like having to go back and forth a million times. Why is there no good place to put that? There we go. Bam. It's a little high. It's a look. It's a little high. There we go. All right, I need her boobs to be in the breastplate. We're going to make our lives easier, and we're just going to scoot those away, I think. Why is this hard for me to solve right now? There we go. Her body, for some reason, isn't poking through. It's just the way the shirt was kind of sitting off of her. All right, that's fine. I do want it to be a little more of a feminine fit, so we will do that. All right, one piece is down. I really like this as is, but I'm not going to go for the detailed one just in case I want to edit this shape more, because I think I'm going to want to make some variations of it. Very good. We're going to grab the shoe and foot area, the greaves, pretty much not change them at all. I'm not really passionate about shoes on this channel, so if you're like, ooh, I'm going to watch them make shoes from scratch. No, you're not here. I suffer in silence off stream, make one good enough shoe, and I use that for as long as remotely possible, which is longer than you think. Though I actually think I did make these shoes right here on stream. So if you go far enough back on my channel, you can find this. I know Aloha has that stream saved somewhere. Cool. Shoes. how's this? I mean, that's pretty nice. We're gonna go with this one though. So again, I can customize it. If I made this character last week, I'd probably do it a lot faster because I made a Knight Commander last week using a similar armor set, and now I feel the need to make it different because I don't like repeating the same model or too many design decisions too close together. It's mostly in my head. It's totally fine to do that. But there's so many different kinds of armor, and I'm like, surely I can think of something more interesting. And it's so frustrating because the Knight Commander I did last week is a hobgoblin, and she also has a skirt, and she looks very like you know, like Arthurian round table knight. And that's what this character is gonna look like too. But an angel. So I'm gonna make it different. It's gonna work. If I feel like I'm stuck, I'll ask you guys to put in some references in our Discord. Man, this armor does really suit her already, and the black and gold is just beautiful. All right, we're gonna need some sort of tabard. A tabard in the tabard. And then I haven't given her pants or a shirt. She has chainmail right here. I could do like chainmail pants. Yeah, I haven't done that in a hot minute. Maybe we'll do that. Thinking. Yeah, I'm gonna do the base for that. So to do pants, you're going to mask the shape that you want. I like to extract at 0 thickness. Less polys, less problems. I ZBrush with half turned on and then polish by features. I give the whole thing a little inflate and we should be good. There's always some weird crotchal region nonsense. You just kind of grab the move brush and put things back where they belong. And there you go, pants. From here, we can then do more cool stuff, like add micro poly to get, see, we got some weird crotchal region stuff. All right, to add chainmail and that kind of good stuff. Get in there. Stop being weird. No. There we go. The white pants are a little bit much. Let's go for more of a subdued gray. I'm gonna make it a touch lighter just so there is some contrast on the character. Nice. All right, she has pants. What more could she want? I'm undecided on how interesting I want to make the glove thing. I don't love these gloves. They're okay, but those combined with the van braces, now we got something interesting happening. I think I might just do van braces and not gloves. Yeah, it's a really simple shape. And I make this van brace the exact same way that I made the pants just now. We'll make it the same color. If you want to grab a color that's already on your scene, all you do is hover over it and click C on your keyboard. C for color. And then you got that color. Just in case anyone thought I was like some color wizard. I was able to like exactly pull the right hue and saturation. No, I am not. When you're dealing with a hard surface, really try to avoid using the move brush as much as you can. And if you do, make like don't make the move brush super small, because what you're gonna do is make your armor all lumpy and stuff. Just be careful, because it's hard surface, so it's not supposed to deform a lot. There we go. I like this. I like it. She definitely needs like a shirt, so let's go ahead and do that. Shirt time. We're gonna make the shirt the exact same way we did the pants. Grab a mask brush, there we go. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this up right here. Invert that mask, extract, and then ZBrush by half. And then I can use this to make chainmail later. In case you're wondering, like, why don't you just put it on her body? You can. I actually have sculpted stuff onto the body. It's just a goofy way of doing things. But if it works, it works. All right, we're gonna make the undershirt the same color as the pants. And then the vambrace, this color. I also realized that my scene is the right color. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. False alarm. All right, we're off to a pretty good start. I'm not going to give her a helmet. That wasn't really discussed anyway in the request. I'm not going to worry about it. Oh, there is no tab or music. I do have it muted because I was doing something. Oh, I was giving a review for paint. We now have music again. Am I the 14th clone? Yeah. I don't think I can pick M3DM as my tag for some reason, so they're like add random numbers, you know how it is, and that's my favorite number, so I tend to just 14. 14 pops up a lot in my life. Ricky and I got together in 2014. The first truck we bought together was a 2014 Silverado. It comes up a lot. I'm born on December 14th. Ricky's born March 14th. It comes up a lot. So I just like 14. To be clear, I don't believe in number magic or astrology. It's all stupid. I mean, if you like that, it's fine, but it is not true. Anyway, I just like the number 14. Paint, ooh, a review. I already sent it to you. Goof. The video I recorded for you. I use my same OBS settings, so paint is so funny. Like, a present? I'm like, you already got it. Really? You and Ricky have the same birthday? No kidding. March 14th is like the best birthday because it's Pi Day, 3.14. That's very cool. Hey, Optimistical Studios is here. Hello, hello. Hey, I know it. You think it's funny. Numerology is the name of number magic. I know, I just don't want to dignify it with its proper title. Anyway, why am I so spicy about that? I don't know why. Have fun with your stuff. Even if it's not true. I'm gonna get myself in trouble. All right, so again, this is an armor set I've used in some capacity before. This is kind of like my base that I pull from, and I do lots of variations from it. I think I initially made this for my Artificer Centaur Knight. And obviously it's like, this isn't a centaur, this is a human. I know, but most of a centaur is pretty human proportion, minus the horse butt. Okay. We're gonna delete that, we don't need it anymore. And now I'm gonna start making some adjustments to this to really suit this specific character. I like how dramatic this breastplate is. It's a bit more on the boob armor side, but you guys know I also like that. It doesn't all need to be hyper realistic. You can strike a nice balance. All right, we're gonna split these pieces, and now I can really start layering and having fun. All right, again, I want more of a dramatic angle here. And then I'm not gonna actually add like the literal boob shape just because I really do like this dramatic, deep, convex shape here. I think it's really cool. One of the forms here, the first form we're doing that she's like all damaged, her chest is actually kind of like blown open. And so I think if I had this really pitched breastplate, it'd be even more dramatic and noticeable. There's like a hole in her chest. So I'm gonna keep that. I can decide where this point is though, if it's high, if it's low. I think I want it to be on the higher side. I also definitely want asymmetrical details for this character. And by asymmetrical details, I just mean like one pauldron's gonna be larger than the other. I can't remember if the larger pauldron's the one that's wielding the sword or it's the other one. I'm pretty sure it's the other one. But I'll look at references for that later. So I'm gonna split this off. Gonna make this one a little bit shorter. And then we can add some cool pieces. Same with this, these tassets. I'm gonna kind of tuck them in right here because I'm going to layer them up. So all I'm gonna do is duplicate it. There should be two pieces now. Yes, identical. I'm gonna grab my masking brush and just chop the bottom off. Grab that again, polish by features, makes it flat. And now it should be pretty much laying on there exactly. Yep, I can kind of nudge that. I don't like that it's not flat. There's a smarter way to do this. Let me think. I'm gonna delete it. thinking. Yep, I found the smarter answer. Okay, we're gonna duplicate this, and then instead, we're actually gonna delete the polys manually. So delete poly loop, not that way. There we go. That's a much nicer way of doing that instead of me having to like manually move things around. There we go, that's what I wanted. And now I can grab my move brush and just kind of nudge that. And now we have a little bit of layering right here. I tend to do stuff in layers of 3s. You don't have to. I'm gonna duplicate this again, solo, back to my Z modeler brush, and then deleting a couple loops here. There we go. Excellent. And then she's gonna have a tabard or a skirt or something. I'm just undecided. I think I'm gonna go with a tabard. That way when she has like her freed form, she's not restricted by a skirt. I also have the skirt with like V slits, you know, on top of her thighs. That would work too. And that could be really pretty. I'm thinking. We could have different outfits for each form. I think it would read best if they were as close as possible. So I don't want to have one has pants and one doesn't have pants, you know? I mean, they're all gonna have pants, but like, you know what I'm trying to say. All right, I think we're gonna go with just a classic, simple tabard. It's gonna be good. I'm going to append a plane to add that, narrow that up. Cute, cute. I know I want a fair amount of fabric on this character just to break up all of the armor, and because she's gonna be so like pretty and majestic, and nothing is more pretty and majestic than silky fabric folds, and adding a lot of that texture is really gonna make this model delicious. Okay. Let's add a nice little gradient. Or not. Come Heather. Why aren't you doing the thing? Oh, because I have material on, not RGB. There you go. What if it's white? It's too white. Less white. This looks weird. The color doesn't matter. This is just a for fun thing for me. Everything I do here is for 3D printing. So this is just flavor that I do on stream. All right, we're off to a pretty good start here. Still thinking. Yeah, we'll have a front and a back tabard. I'm probably gonna make them quite wide. Again, it will pretty much look like she's wearing a skirt by the time that I'm done with this. But she won't be, and it's an important distinction. That way there's maximum leg movage. Freedom of movement. I'm probably gonna make that a bit of a V shape. That's more interesting. Yeah. This already is looking so good. I love it. I love it. Optimistical says, oh, she's looking so cool, right? Again, it's a great request, so it's hard to go wrong. I love how her hair turned out. I did that off stream because I needed to like lock in. It's awesome. I'm super happy with it. This angel has 3 forms. Must be a Dragon Ball character. Looks like the bigger pauldron goes on the sword weapon arm. That's cool. Thank you for looking that up, Sean, because I was pretty sure. But yeah, I really appreciate that. I need to figure out what my 3 forms are. I love that. All right, I can do a bunch of like little, whatever the hell, like the little ones are called. I think they're called rear braces. I can't remember. But if I'm gonna go with chainmail, I don't want there to be too much happening in the same spot. I think I'm gonna do chainmail. Let's make this even more of a dramatic shape. All of these tassets need to move up just a little bit. Yep. Armor is really cool, but it's also kind of sensitive. You don't want to get too ridiculous with the secondary forms. If you don't have any secondary forms, it's just kind of boring to look at. If you're ever struggling with where to put wings, they pretty much just go on your shoulder blades. So I just make sure they're somewhere around here and they look pretty good. And if there's issues like, oh, what are we gonna do with these pauldrons? Don't worry about that until you pose. You'll be able to like tuck them under or something and make it look good. It's almost never worth trying to deal with fiddly bits like that when you're still in the character block out and when it's not posed, because a lot of this is gonna have to move and change anyway. If you're wondering like, gee, that's a helpful tip. How long did it take you to learn that? Like 4 years of sculpting. I would like make everything perfect unposed. I was like belligerent about it and then have to move all of it and then be mad about it. I don't know. Sometimes like you can tell how cool a character is looking and you just can't help but fiddle with it and try to get it as perfect as possible when it's not posed. But I have to remind myself that the unposed character is simply a step to the final product. It is not the most important part by a long stretch. I want another layer right here of some sort. So I'm kind of pulling down a new shape here for the arm. And then notice that instead of making the second layer larger, I'm actually just making the lower layer tighter to the body. And that's because I like the silhouette here. I don't care if there's clipping issues underneath. So if you keep layering stuff, you have a tendency for it to get bulkier and bulkier. So that's how I prevent that. Yeah, I just like that. I'm gonna have a different color just for a moment while I try to figure out how I want that shape to be. I don't like it. Delete. Instead, how about I just do this? Ooh, I have an idea. I'm gonna duplicate this and kind of do the same trick I did earlier, which is deleting a polygroup. I'm gonna do a couple, and then I think I remember how to do this. If you hold spacebar on the edge, not the poly, not the vertex, the edge, it'll pop up a different menu based on what you're hovered over. That took me a year to figure out. All right, hover over the edge, and I think it's extrude move. Yeah. And then you click. Isn't that cool? You can like grab a single poly and then move it around. I just think it's the coolest thing ever. I love this tool. It doesn't look very impressive when it's just one. So change it to, instead of edge/edge loop, but instead to poly loop. And then check that out. You can like really easily add this like little like fan detail effect. So this is before, this is the after. It makes me very excited. It just has not gotten old yet. And then what you can do further from that is you can actually polygroup just that little, fin that you added and have even more control over it. It's pretty cool. All right, and then I'm going to delete that and then fan it out again right here. And again, it's a little crooked, it's a little funny looking. It's just forming. And there's usually an angle you can go at that will give you the best results. Yeah, like that. Oh, that looks way better than that little duplicate thing I was trying earlier. Just always be trying stuff. What if I edit the original here? I think it's a little tall, so I'm gonna delete one layer here and then fan it up again, just like that. That's cool. That's looking really good. So this is why I use that, I spent a lot of time making that initial armor set you guys saw at the beginning of the stream. And then I can make variations from it really quickly. Because the artistry is not in making a van brace that is forearm shaped. It's the same step every time. It's these little things and like these little forms and what I call like the secondary forms. I said what I call secondary forms. That's not a term I coined. Primary, secondary, tertiary, people have been using that since there's been sculpting. But anyway, this is where the cool stuff is at. I don't want to do too much more with that right now, so I'm not going to. Okay, mirror and weld. Yes. Turn on double. And then they're a little bulky, so I'm going to use the pinch brush gently. There we go. There's the before, there's the after. All right, I got 2 minutes left, so I'm pretty pleased with what we got done in 30 minutes here. And now let's see if Mia remembers how to do nano mesh without me having to, or is it array mesh? I can't remember. I teach people how to sculpt, and I make videos for those people to watch, and I use them myself all the time. And I have to watch my same video I made for my students on how to do this. I don't know. Sometimes my brain just has information where it's like, that's not important. And I'm like, oh no, I'd like to remember that actually. And it's like, oh no, that's not important. But it's really good at remembering other things. Okay. Something in here. Insert nano mesh, single poly. It's going to be all polys. I can do something right here too. Anyway, there we go. There's that shape, and then I just change it to be a ring. All polygons. Click and drag. The weirdest chain I've ever seen in your life. Bear with me. I think it was nano mesh. Is that what I called it? Yes. There's supposed to be a little spot where I can change what the shape is. And this is what I never remember. And I have to watch that video that I made. I'm trying to make myself find it because I'm kind of like, I was that kid in college too, where like I reviewed my notes. I'm like, oh yeah, I got it. But if I don't have my notes, I remember nothing. We're not going to find it. That's okay. I know a different way to do this too. It's supposed to be here-ish. All right, we're letting it be. It still looks cool. It's something. It's spiky. It's a kind of armor. Can't deny that. All right, all right. All right, that was fun. Got a good little chunk of work done there. I am now ready to attend to the peasants in the chat. So if you have a question, now is the time to ask, because I might not see it again. All right, there is a ping. Aloha says, Mia, did you know the most recent ZBrush update has a ton of quality of life things for ZModeler Brush? It defines the highlighted areas of what your mouse is hovering over. What do you mean by it defines the area? Because technically it already lights up. It just doesn't do a very good job. See that little white line? Yeah. So, space, space, space. Also, that's very nice, but I wouldn't know. As you guys know, I am a ZBrush holdout. I refuse to pay for the new update. I have the perpetual license, and I will not pay for it again. Oh, Soapfire's here. Hello, hello, and Wendelier. This thing was a spy. Yep, tell us something we didn't already know. Oh, this is great. You guys talking about octopuses and spies, and there you go. Beautiful. Yeah, it makes let's talk about the ZBrush update. It makes it a lot more intuitive and user-friendly with the highlights. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I'm not paying $250 for that or whatever they're charging for it now. I know it's not what you're advocating anyway. I'm just so spicy about that. But that's good. They're actually adding updates that are meaningful instead of repackaging stuff that's already in the program. Yeah. Hey, I'm glad they're still doing stuff with it. I'm just spacey because I had a lot of students using ZBrush Core, which is $10 a month, and now that's gone. So if you want to continue, you have to pay for the full version, which is $40 a month. And a lot of people can't afford a 4x jump, and they're just hobbyists. So it made me sad. But I get it. Business. Let me scroll up. Let's see. Reaper says, I'm honestly really impressed with how you did the hair. It looks so good. Thank you. Thank you. It was a lot of work. And then Optimistical Studio says, it's like my friend and I were talking about with the hair. It will look feminine without getting in the way of fighting. That's brilliant. I didn't even think about how tidy it is too, and very feminine still. Awesome. I love it. Pirates, ZBrush, and Adobe. Just thought it was cool. It is cool. I do like that. I do like that. I'm all for easier to see ZModeler brush. All right. Started looking pretty good. I'm gonna look in the Tavern Chronicles here, see if it's memes or if it's an inspiring reference. Oh, it's neither. It's just Sean saying they're going to the grocery store. I did not expect that. That's funny. All right, I need your guys' input. I think this looks really good. Full stop. There's not a but coming. I just think it looks really good. But I made a character like I've made armored angels and I made a knight commander last week and it looks similar. And I think I should change the armor. I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm not pushing like a new shape enough. Like, do I need to reinvent the pauldron? Probably not. Maybe I should spend this fiddly time making the pose excellent. I didn't ask a question. My question is, are we happy with this armor? Or do we think we should make a new pauldron shape, you know? Because I've used this shape before. And there's so many different options out there. It's not that this doesn't look good, it looks really good. But I feel like I could do something different, you know? I might also just be trying to make something needlessly difficult on myself. Yeah. Could you add a little piece for us to be able to add paint? I can add an example in the Tavern. Yes, please do. I'm like, technically you could paint the whole thing. There we go. I am going to remove these ornaments right here because I just don't want them on this character. There we go. I guess what I'm trying to say is what's going to make this different. The first time you make something, you know, it's unique, but I don't want to fall into a trap of every character I make that's armored looks like this. Why did you get all weird right here? Anyway, I think adding a little bit of a taper to this would be really nice. I do like that. Just a little bit. All right, here's an example from 40K. Let me show it to you guys. This is in our Discord. Just Lingual said, yeah, here's an example from 40K, and it's like an emblem, it looks like. Yes. That is cool. You guys are pretty chill in the comments. I think people are like, it looks good. What's your problem? I'm like, I don't know. My armor doesn't look reinvented enough. I've done armor before. I guess I just don't want anyone to feel like they're getting a copy-paste character. Nobody has literally ever thought that of one of my models. I don't know. I do need this to be scooted over, and I could model it and bridge that gap close, or I can smush it over like a heathen and mirror and weld. That also works. Excellent. I think I just liked it before I was messing with it. Yeah, right there especially. Don't be afraid just to undo when you mess with a bunch of shapes and like you push that shape. Keep doing that, keep experimenting, but don't be afraid, just go back to what you started with. Oh, Sean's here. Hello, hello. I agree the breastplate and tassets need something. Oh, no. Like, yeah. Okay, I said no, but I meant yes. They're not detailed at all. I'm not talking about like, this is just gonna stay perfectly smooth. There's gonna be wear and tear. There's gonna be different forms. What I mean is like, sorry, I wasn't very clear. Like literally changing the pauldron shape to be something more unique, like a heavy pauldron or a half cape, or I'm talking more like elements. Not detail, because yeah, there will definitely be more detail. We're about as low poly as I get. Oh, I think those that double layer there looks cool. I didn't do it on purpose, but I think it's really cool. Yeah. The only thing I would change is how pointy her nose is. Pointy? Yeah, I can make it flatter. I did make sure to look at a lot of references too. There are a lot of variation in nose shape, which I thought was really cool. Yeah, it's pretty small. Not worried about that. Well, then. Maybe I'm jumping the gun. Seems like empty space. Ah, the gun has been jumped. No, you're okay. My question wasn't very good. I'm so sorry, guys. You guys know now, but let me rewind still because communication's hard and I'm always trying to get better at that. The question I was trying to ask was, are we happy with the base shape of the armor? Not the details, not the trim. Just the primary shape, the most basic shape as it is. And I think we are. I think we're happy with how it fits the body, and the layers I think are interesting and they are cool. We have a little bit of asymmetry happening here. And I think you guys are suggesting stuff like a crest or creasing because you're right. The interest is going to come from the secondary features. That is what's going to make this character unique, not making the pauldron U-shaped instead of V-shaped. So you're right. Thank you guys. That's actually really helpful. I'm going to add that crease back. So speaking of, let me show you how. So right here, breastplate is smooth. How would we add dimension to that? Well, you could manually sculpt it, but I don't recommend that when it comes to hard surface. Grab your ZBrush and then add a crease on these edges here. And now we do polish by features. It will, okay, her boobs are going to start falling out. So we're going to put those away. Of course, there's an autosave in that exact moment. It's like, no, you're just going to watch. Stop. All right, polish by features, and you'll see it starts to crisp up right there. Isn't that nice? Again, you could have sculpted a line there, but that's such a sharper and more consistent way to do it. Yeah. Aerodynamic armor, yes. Maybe make the armor more streamlined, as a flying character might want to be aerodynamic. I think that's just too far into, it's too gritty. I love grit as much as the next person, but trying to make a magical flying angel aerodynamic is, what would that even look like? Making her like a cone? Turn the character into an F-22 Raptor. All right, I'm gonna get back to work. You guys can shit post in my comments in the chat. Okay, we're getting back to it. Very good. You guys are funny. All right. I kind of just want these to be stitched together. I could also have like a plate detail there. I'm gonna stitch them instead. So a lot of this is just done using the ZBrush. If it gets mad because something's not symmetrical, just throw a mirror and weld on there and that will fix it up. Or not. What are you mad about? Do you want to do it from this side, ZBrush? I don't care. Ah, that's why. It did this at some point. That's why. I was wondering why I was being silly. That's why I recommend turning on double when you're working with single side faces, because you might get some funniness happening, but you won't even be able to tell unless you had both faces visible. That is bothering me that it's not doing that. There's no good reason that it's not doing that. There it goes. I just want to do the top. It needed a emotional support edge. Sure, whatever. All right, mirror and weld. And now we have that kind of closed up on the sides. Very good. I'm gonna add a bit of a flare here to the edge of each tacet. Extrude, move, poly loop. There we go. Very nice. I like these little edges I'm adding. I think they're really nice. I'm also going to pull this collar down a little bit just to make her neck look even longer. Fit this to the back a touch more as well. It'll be very interesting posing all of this. It's pretty much be like posing the body and then like dressing it up with armor afterwards would be the best approach for that. All right, I want there to be fabric, more fabric. Just thinking where I can put it and what would make sense. Because I think layers are just so cool and would be a really nice touch here. Having a double tabard in the front might be the easy answer here. Absolutely. Add a lot of really cool fabric this way too. Very cool. All right, let's get some texture on this. So I'm adding thickness simply by using dynamic thickness. Now that I have that applied, I'm going to frame the edge and just add a little trim piece to it. Sometimes I get so focused on the primary forms because they're the most important part that I forget how powerful like the secondary forms are, and like that's where things get really interesting and that's how things are unique to that specific character. So before we got too silly in the comments, that was still very helpful. So I'm adding just a nice little trim piece here, merging these down. Now I can isolate them and add some fabric folds. I'm pretty heavy-handed the way I do this. I simply use the standard brush, increase the intensity, and then I can just kind of like strike these shapes in. You'll see what I mean in just a second. You'll see I kind of play with what the brush strength looks like first, and then once I find my like, there we go, I like that, then I just do it pretty quickly. All right, so we're going to simply add, subtract, add. We got close to the center line, turn off symmetry, and then subtract. I did not turn on lazy radius, so we got pretty wobbly in there. There. And look how gorgeous that is. And it took like 5 brush strokes. And I'm sure I was like, well, you could do a fancy or different material. Sure, but it's so good for the time. And it just actually looks good. And what I really like about this is you get this natural variation on the edge, and it really starts getting, it's just delicious. The side is not really doing anything because there's not really any polys there, and honestly, there doesn't need to be, so I'm gonna leave that alone. All right, I am going to decimate this down to 50,000 points, and then we'll do the same thing with the tabard underneath. Just Lingual says, Mia, you say too silly. I'm now sketching what I think an F-22 Raptor would look like as a paladin. Go nuts. I'm glad the stream is inspiring you, maybe not in ways that I was anticipating. So I could detail this tabard the same way, or I can duplicate this top one that I'm really happy with and simply make it larger and move it behind. All right, let's not be annoying about it. Cool. Excellent. We're going to duplicate this again, rotate it 180 degrees, and this will also serve as the back tabard. Sometimes I do detail like identical pieces manually just over and over again because you need the variation, but not always. Don't be afraid to reuse a piece you just detailed. In fact, I strongly encourage you to. Where in the world is the detail? I detailed you, and now you're like, no, I didn't. I'll just keep deleting them until I find it. You know, I'm gonna do something I never do, which is name my subtools. I call it mini tabard, tabard, and back tabard, with whatever letters manage to make it to my keyboard. All right, cute. If you're looking at the side, like, oh, it looks so chunky and weird, don't worry about it. We're at the very, very end before it's ready for 3D printing and the final pass of the pose. All I do is take a pinch brush and pinch the edges just like that. It makes it much thinner, it makes it look elegant, it makes it fine, and no 3D printing issues. It's a win-win for everyone. Awesome. I love the fabric detail here. Like I knew that was going to be nice. We have metal, we have fabric, and we have feathers. It's nice. Oh, sounds good, Sean. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. I'll have to teach Have a Good Time Sculpting. I need to see if we can have you live stream chat with my AM class, ZBrush students. Maybe one day. Maybe. And Marie asked me that last year too, and I was like, it's not that I don't think it'd be fun. I'm just super stingy with my time, and that's a way to say that I could technically make time. But it's a combination of I don't want to, and I am pretty tight on time. I'm just being way more honest than I need to be right there. Not the first time. Okay. Detailing armor. I have done talks in person before too. Like I do like doing them. Make that a little wider. Awesome. I love that. I'm trying to merge all of these down. Ooh, not like that. There we go. I want to keep my poly groups. All right, that's good. Optimistical says, I'm looking forward to rescuing this character in our game. It's gonna be pretty epic. All right. This is such a cool thing here. One thing I want to toy with, I don't think I'm going to, but just want to toy with is what that shape would look like if it was visible on top. Nah, I didn't think so, but I wanted to try it first. All right, very good. Let's add some detail to this. So if I do frame mesh, I don't think it's going to grab this line here. That is correct, it did not. The way you can make it grab that line there is add a crease. So crease, poly loop, ooh, not poly loop, edge loop. There it is. So now when I click frame, bam, that's also highlighted. And what's cool about that is I can grab a curve brush and click once and gorgeous. Just like that, I have trim. It is rounding the edges off. Forgot that it does that. I kind of like that it's rounding the edges off. What a nice little bit of detail. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that. Okay, you are a very excessive million points. Stop it. I'm just decimating it down, but you can't see that. I have a little bar at the top that's loading. It's done. Great. So if I add thickness with one subdiv, it's gonna line up perfectly. Ooh, yes it is. Oh, I love that. Great. We'll keep one subdiv on, and then we can add pretty much as much thickness to this as we want. Wait, one subdiv on, thick. Within reason. I don't know why it's poking through right there. It is terribly small and no one's going to see that, but I know it's there, so I will clean it up. All right, I went ahead and clicked apply, looking good. I'll grab move topological, and all we're gonna do is auto groups, mirror and weld, and now I can kind of scoot in any nonsense. There. Very small, but I knew it was there and I didn't like it. I do think there is another line right here that we could possibly make visible. We might as well. It will be a little hard to keep track of that, depending how much this piece deforms, but considering it is a tacet and it is made of solid metal, it shouldn't deform much anyway, so we should be good. I'm not totally sure where I'm going to put these tacets when she is kneeling down. Do they just like fan out? Maybe I can just like tuck them kind of like they're following her thigh. It would not be comfortable, but it will look good. And that's all I really care about. All right, turn on transparency. Let's see how many of these lines aren't visible at all. Oh, they're all being used. Huh, cool. I like that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and make this line visible as well. I think I'm gonna need to inflate it a touch. I'm being really silly about this trim. I need to move on from this trim. This is such a non-detail. Get to the good stuff. Great, that's good. Every now and then I'm like, would this problem be solved if I just zoomed out at all? Yes, then you need to move on. Little sanity check. Okay. We now have these pieces here, which I really quite like. I'm gonna subdivide once. I'm a little concerned if that edge is getting too thin. Yeah, like that's weird. I'm just gonna smooth that away. It's not visible, it's tucked under the model. That's visible though. I'm gonna scoot all this up later. It's gonna fix that. Excellent. All right, let's get some texture on this. So even if it's a clean model and it's like, again, like her final form is like all healed and resplendent, adding some like scratches and texture to armor is a must. It just makes it come alive. Confusingly, I like to use leather texture to add some surface noise to my metal. All right, I have a couple I can use. I think I'm gonna like this one more. The trick is just make your intensity really low. like really low. This is just surface noise. And it's like, oh, is that going to 3D print? Not maybe in the way that you'd expect, where you're going to see like every little, you know, this exact texture, but it will prevent it from printing perfectly smooth. That was a lot of P's. And then I can even add a little contrast slider moment. And finally, this one will actually for sure appear in a print and allow you to paint, use a wash on, all that good stuff. I'm gonna turn off my poly paint for a second here to make sure I can see what the form is. Excellent. These little lines, I'm telling you, they're so important. They're everything. The first time I was sculpting armor, I guess modeling armor better said, I could not figure out why my armor looked so boring, and I spent a long time trying to figure it out. I didn't figure it out, and I'm like, fine, whatever, I'll just move on to fine details. And I started doing these kind of details, and I was like, oh my god, that was it. It just needs to look lived in. And then if you actually do want to look war damage and stuff, then I really come in heavy-handed, and it looks like huge dents like this. But that's not what we're doing. Not yet. Excellent. Mia asking herself the annoying question of, will it print? That means she gets to look at herself with the annoyed look instead of chat. It's true. On today's episode of Why Won't This Paint? What is your problem? There you go. And I'm being very silly by insisting on adding poly paint to everything. Again, this doesn't affect the 3D print at all. This is just a fun thing that I like to do on streams, kind of just taking my time. Oh hey, just single posted. My iPad died, so I had the box, but large pauldrons and a cape tail feel F22 like Paladin. Oh, that's right. That's so fun. I love that you did that. There you go. There's your aerodynamic Paladin. Optimistical says, love an armor edge, right? I think they fan out. I'm not totally sure what you're talking about, what fans out, but I'm gonna go with yes. Because fan out is always more fun to paint, and I need a really good edge in order to have any chance of successfully dry brushing something. Hey Mikey's, welcome in. We spent the last hour making just this one piece. We have 3 pieces of armor, that's it. Just kidding, we have a whole character. All right, let's grab this. And then those trim pieces, and so I can scoot them up and make them look nicer. Hide the nonsense. Very good. I'm probably just do a flat cut on the top of that because there's some weird polygon stuff going on there. The tassets. Oh, like for when she's sitting. Like they'd fan out. I get you. Like a big skirt almost. I'm just gonna see what looks best when I pose it. This is the problem about talking so much. Yeah, I knew it was gonna crash. That's why I saved. When you talk so much, when someone responds to some one of the things that you said, I'm like, I'm not sure which of the 100 things I said you're responding to. I got you. Same page. When Delaria says, one of these days, Mia will make a one-dimensional character that won't print on either paper or 3D printer. One of these days. Sounds like an export issue. See, I knew you were going to crash and throw a huge fit, ZBrush, so I prevented it from happening. Luckily, I know mini trick. Bam. I win. Cool. I was like, please do this right. Oh, it is being nasty about it. It really doesn't matter. I can just clean these up later. I'm just being picky. Cool. I want to add another layer to this breastplate, I think, in some way. Oh, we're going full Mac. All right. You guys can resume in the Discord. I'm going to confuse my stream, my YouTube viewers. If I could layer this in some way, how would I do that? You know, before I even worry about that, let's detail the fold. One thing at a time. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, detailing this. It's pretty straightforward. I'm going to click frame mesh, see what it does. Didn't grab this edge here because I forgot to crease it. So I'll grab my ZModeler brush, give that a crease, and then frame mesh again. From here, if I do polish by features, it should grab that edge a little better. It did. Very nice. And I can use my contrast slider to make this shape a little more interesting, kind of push it. But I think what I'm gonna do instead is add yet another edge. If you do this little dotted line thing for your curve brush grab onto, but you're tired of seeing the preview, all you have to do is grab a curve brush, any curve brush, and click on your model. It'll go away. Don't click on the trim, it will work. If you click over here, it kills it. So there you go. I do want more interest here. I want an excessive amount of layers on this character. It's kind of how I do like rogues. I just keep putting an obscene amount of belts and daggers. It's like for my paladins and armor and stuff, I'm like, more little layers of armor. I think it always looks better. More is in fact more. All right, little flip out right there. That is so ridiculously small. I promise it's gonna make a difference. You'll see. We'll all see. Oh gosh, that makes me sound like a villain. All right. So the way I want to do this then is, I might still just have the crease right there. Let's see how it looks. I'm gonna grab my curve brush, do a little tap. Don't have symmetry turned on when you do this, because if you do, it will just do 2 layers of tubes, and I forget that half the time. That's nice. Just a little detail there. For this, I should just be able to close holes. Yeah. This is the tacit poking out, not tacit, tabard, so many T words, poking out from the top. Let's go ahead and fix that. I need to zoom out a little bit. I'm sorry guys, I know I work like this close to everything all of the time. That's why I put like a screenshot. I'm like, oh look, she has a face. For people just passing through to be like, what are you even working on? There's something in there, I promise. And to be clear, like my tablet is gigantic. I don't know if I've showed you guys this recently, but like it is like 2 feet across. Look, see, like my hand size of her head. I do not need to be that zoomed in, so I'm trying to say. That's just me being silly. It's kind of a habit that I formed, and now that's what I do. Aloha says, this looks awesome, Mia. You should be really proud with how it's coming along. Be nicer to yourself, please, and thank you. Oh, am I being kind of an asshole? I think so. You're right. I'm not being very excited about it. But it is awesome, though. You're right. Thank you. This is why I pay my mods. Every now it's just like a bonk. It's like, just look at how cool this is. You're right. You're right. Oh, wow. I'm zooming out for a second here. I am literally complaining because this model looks reminiscent of any armor I've ever made before. That's like taking the fear of same face syndrome to like an extreme. That's ridiculous. Thank you, Aloha. You're right. You're right. It's crazy that my armored character looks like armored character. Oh my gosh. This is one of the cool things of like the flip side of the internet. It's like, oh, internet's mean or whatever. When you build a community like this, you can have the opposite effect where it kind of like self-corrects any like dumb internal dialogue you have because you don't even always know you're doing it. No one sets out to be a jerk to themselves, I think, right? Not intentionally. Anyway, good job. Very appreciate you. I am having fun. Where is this thing? There we go. Oh, that's so cool. Just a little variation there. I like it. That's true. Mikey says it's an art thing. Most people do that when there is art on the screen. Yeah, particularly their own art. Yeah, I hear you. It's very silly. Okay. I want to add a little bit of texture, a little bit of goodness. I really like the pace at which I'm working at though, and I know I'm working at a pretty good pace here because ZBrush isn't crashing constantly. If you like click like a spaz, you know, and like constantly move stuff around, and you'll crash your program, among other things, but that's a really good way to do it. There we go. Decimating. This is so weird because like when you work on pieces like this, essentially I post-process the model and get it ready for 3D printing as I'm sculpting it, because once I make the armor piece, it's rigid. I'm not going to be deforming it even after I pose. And if I do, it's a very, very small adjustment. So I post-process as I go. If anyone's new here, I'm like, what do you mean post-process? Essentially, when you're 3D printing something, you don't need the topology to look good. But you do need it to be a solid mesh. It can't just be like a single-sided mesh. Here, let me show you an example really quick. Because when people hear holes in 3D printing, they think that there can't be a hole in the model. And there can. Like, you could sculpt a donut, for example. There's a hole in a donut. You can 3D print donuts. Like, that's not the kind of hole we're talking about. We're talking about, like, meshes that don't exist. So, let me show you. All right, if you know nothing about 3D, look up for just a second here. This is the plane. Single-sided, which means when I turn it and look on the other side, watch, it disappears because it is single-sided. It only exists in one plane. So that's why when you're making stuff 3D printable, you need to add thickness to it. So I'm gonna do that right now. See, now I flip it over, you can see there's actually an edge on it and it exists. So that's like what people are talking about. They'll say close holes, they'll do Boolean operations to close things up, but it's more about that issue, that kind of hole, not a donut. I don't think I've ever explained it that clearly before, so huzzah. You now know a little bit more. And also, while we're on the topic, you can 3D print some pretty goofed up topology and models, and even with there is a hole in it, slicers do a pretty good job. They'll scream the whole way. Like your slicer, when you're trying to get it to put on your 3D printer, it will be like, this is gonna explode, this is terrible, ah! And I'll probably still print it, honestly. 3D printers have improved a lot. Not saying you should do it, but it's probably fine. When I was first learning how to 3D print, I'm not sure how things are now because I'm not learning, I just print now. But there was so much misinformation out there. It was hysterical. And it was like fear-mongering over 3D printing. Hear me out. Essentially, like, one of my favorite ridiculous things I read on Reddit was if you have islands, so like unsupported areas on your print, it will cure into an island, float around in your vat, which can happen, but this will damage your 3D printer and put a hole in it. And I'm like, oh no, like I was worried about this. Meanwhile, I have probably, between Ricky and I think we have probably printed over 3,000 minis because I've sculpted over 1,200 and we print most of them more than once, and we used to do print orders, so thousands. We have never ever had a hole in a 3D printer in the vat, not once. And we have tens of islands. We are absolute heathens the way that we print, according to the Reddit Bible. I know some of this is still true because Aloha, my mod, they learned how to 3D print recently, and they mentioned it was kind of a minefield out there of information. I could tell they were kind of timid when they were, not timid, but just like cautious when they were printing their first thing. And I'm pretty sure they've already gotten over it. They're like, nah, just throw it in there. Do your best in there. There's a joke that I saw. Lame joke. I think I saw it on Facebook. I think like my aunt reposted it. But it's just like talking about dishes that say they're not dishwasher safe. You just put them in the dishwasher anyway, and you're like, do your best in there. That's how I feel about 3D printing sometimes. I'm like, you'll do fine. Oh, goodness. All right, we're getting some detail. We're looking good. Oh, interesting. When Delia said, not sure how, but my first resin printer while sitting in storage developed a hole in the FEP, and I found it after vacation with resin and all the electronics. That sucks. If I had to guess what happened, in my unsolicited guess theory, your FEP film's under a lot of tension, and that's how it, works. You can't have it be floppy. It has to be tense. And you have all of your screws or those little bolts that nail all of it down, right? So it's under tension. If there was any defect or any, think of like a cavity in your tooth, like the beginning of a weak spot in your FEP film, which is common because it does wear out over time, being that it's always under force, it's always under tension, it probably slowly opened up that hole because it's pulling on it the whole time. 99% sure that's what happened. How's that for my Amazon degree education? I know what tension force is. Just Lingual says, I'm the heathen that thinks that 95% of 3D printing fear is unfounded. I get you. Oh my gosh, the amount of emails and DMs I used to get about will 3D printing kill me if it's toxic? One, I'm not qualified to answer that. I'm not a chemist, I'm not a doctor. But guess who is? Goobertown. That guy is so cool. I mean, I don't know what he is on the internet is. I'm really weird about saying people are great if I don't know them, because I don't know. But the thing that presents themselves on YouTube is really cool. Wow, why am I specifying this? He seems really cool. Anyway, he made a great video. He does have a PhD in chemistry about resin and 3D printing. And it was great. And it pretty much is my favorite answer. It's like, just read the MSDS. And it's like, it's an irritant. It's a toxin. I'm like, yep. My favorite is, it's a chemical. I need you guys to know that chemicals just means it has more than one substance in it. So like water, for example, is dihydrogen monoxide. What does that mean? 2 hydrogen, 1 oxide. It's H2O. Literally, it's all it means. So it's a chemical because there's 2 substances in it. That's all it means. So if anyone's trying to fear-monger you on, don't eat pesticide. But just take things with a grain of salt. Science-y words get thrown around to scare people, and it doesn't have to be that way. Also, stop drinking resin. Aloha. Oh, cool. Print update. My trike seemed like it was going to print. I haven't seen it yet, but I will tomorrow. I'll let you know how it looks, Mia. Oh, I'm so excited. I hope it printed great. How awesome. This is so true, Aloha. Bleach is more harmful than, yeah, absolutely. Nailed it. Oh, and then Sean's looks like they have their sketches finished. You should share it. Yeah. Oh, that's so fun. Just Lingual said, I technically could run all of Mia's models through our Ansys or something at work and see how aerodynamic they are for fun. That would be the funniest, most technical shitpost ever in Discord. That would be delicious. All right, Sean's has their sketch. Oh, cool. This is Sean's first sketch. This is what I'm going to transform into a 3D model. It's going to be awesome. It's about how I envisioned it, honestly. But fantastical and super detailed. It's going to be awesome. I do like that you sketched the head. That gives me a lot of answers to go by. There's a lot of decisions to make there. And yeah, I like where you put the wings. I do them in the same spots around joints like that. Very good. I'm proud of you. That's a nice sketch. Good job, peasant. But Mia, have you seen what dihydrogen monoxide does to metal? It corrodes something that strong. What is that chemical doing to us? Oh, you're guilty. That's so funny. You nailed it. That is like, yep. You nailed it. And when people say stuff like that, I'm just like, you're right. Right now, water is rusting your you're so much weaker than metal. For sure killing you. There comes a point where like, if someone's a little off track, I kind of like nudge them back. But if they're off the deep end, I'm like, you're right. Like, when people like doubt the moon landing and they're like, we were never on the moon. I'm like, you believe in the moon? Like, you gotta like out crazy them. Like, it's the only way to have fun. I am not a flat earther, just to be clear. But if you see me saying crazy shit online or on Discord, that's why. Because I'm like, that was dumb. So I'm gonna say something more dumb. Yeah. Okay. I'm really pleased with how this is looking. The aerodynamics of the Hydra axolotl, I would also be very invested to see what that looks like. These little trim pieces are making me so happy. All right, let me kind of poke through here. I know there's some cool stuff I can use. This is me doing everything in my power to not have to rewatch my own video on how to make chainmail for the 10th time. There's a little box that gives you a bunch of little options to use, and I'm, for some reason, just not remembering how to find it. Okay. I can just do a silly version of it. I know how to make my own nanomesh brush if it's from scratch, but for some reason I'm forgetting how to access the defaults in ZBrush. So I'm gonna make a little ring. I'm gonna click Create, Insert Mesh, New. Now I have this little brush where I can make a bunch of rings. Then from that, when it's selected, you can click Create Nanomesh Brush. And now it is nanomeshable. So if I click on this sleeve, for example, I can grab that brush that I just made, and it'll be labeled Z-Modeler, and it will do a bunch of rings, or is it supposed to? There you go. Bam. A bunch of rings. And pretty easily, you can see how you can use this for chainmail. If you want to look especially good, you need some overlaps. All right, let's go ahead and move in here. Because right now it's all laying perfectly flat, but if you twist it on an axis, it starts looking really nice. Here we go. Let me pop into teaching mode here, and you'll see this is the menu. This is under Tool, Nanomesh. You got all of these really cool settings here. So you can do like your Y variation, which is not what we're looking at, or rotation. So the way it's gonna rotate is based on the normal, I think. And you can change that. So open up alignment. Okay, it has no alignment. That's why it's acting like a heathen. Let's do align to normal and see if I get some results I like. There we go. And now I can kind of lay them on top of each other and it looks pretty chainmail-y. There you go. It doesn't actually exist. This is just a preview. If you want it to exist, make sure you go to inventory and then 1 to mesh. And now it actually exists. You know that because if you click on auto groups, it turns into a rainbow, which means if you click on these, you can get these individual rings. I usually don't add chainmail until the model is posed. I'm purely doing this right now on stream because I know it looks really cool and it's fun to see. And it can feel really intimidating unless you see someone do it and then you're like, oh, that's not bad. And I'm like, exactly. You can do it too. Let me fix any clipping issues I have here by using my pinch brush. And there you go. That is gonna 3D print and paint so lovely. Just that little bit of texture, it goes a long way. And we'll do the same thing for our pants. So again, all I did was create a ring, and then I came down here to create insert mesh, which created this, so I can do a bunch of rings. Obviously I'd go insane if I do that manually. So instead, I made sure that that insert mesh was selected, clicked on create nano mesh, and that's how we have this Z modeler brush here, which is not actually the Z modeler brush, it is just a facet of it. If I hold spacebar, I want to be insert nanomesh all polygons. Click and drag, and wham, we're ring-tastic. Make sure you change your alignment to be, I usually do align to normal, but sometimes I don't. It depends if I'm doing like layered leaves or whatever. And then rotation is usually where I go. Is it proper? Is it exact? God, no. But it definitely gives the impression of chainmail, which is what I'm looking for. That's a pretty good overlap in that axis. Let's do the other one. There we go. And I love using the X, like the variants over here, because it just adds randomness to the whole thing. Obviously for chainmail, it's stupid. But again, if you're doing leaves, something organic, that is gonna save you so much time. Very good. Oops, I clicked no alignment. There we go. And then again, this is just a preview. To make it real, go to inventory, 1 to mesh. I like to have it separate from the pants because again, I'm just doing this right now on stream because it looks cool. The reason why I do this last is because when you try to pose this and all these little pieces are moving around, it just kind of makes a mess. You might as well bend the character first and then add this. And it's really cool. Oh my God, Reaper's having a meltdown. Okay, I'm back. What do you need? Mia's gone. Mia, come back. I'm right here. Did you actually need something? I don't think you did. No, Mia is, I'm right here. You guys are so dramatic. Would equalizing the mesh and then using the nano mesh make a result with more consistent ring size? Yep. I do want to make fun of you because these are, you're telling me these are not almost the exact same size. They're good. They're good. But yes, it definitely is dependent upon the shirt or whatever the base mesh is. And then to get that, I just like having a Z mesh with adaptive size turned to 0. And that'll give you the most even spread of polys. You guys are so dramatic. Oh my goodness. I want to add like more something. My camera went kablooey. What are you talking about? It did not. This is intentional. when we're teaching mode, you don't need my face. You just need to see the UI. This is more important than my face. And then I have my face again. You guys know this. In our defense, we don't have object permanent, so we panic when we can't see you. Oh my god. That's really funny. Okay, well, I'm back. Who do you think was talking? Hmm? You guys are silly. I do think it's cool having this a bit more asymmetric, like I talked about earlier. I don't need that one. I thought I'd like it. I don't. I want this edge to be less tall. So how about I just use the pinch brush, see how that does for me. It's kind of a rough way of doing it. Pinch was so well behaved. Hello, do you see how well behaved Pinch was there? I'm impressed. Very nice. I do like that shape. This is pretty cool. So we did talk about an emblem of some sort. I do think that would be cool. I wonder if I can reuse this belt somewhere else. Yeah, it feels like a cool chest detail. I can use that yet again for the collar. I don't want it looking too samey, but first thing I'm going to try is mirror and weld across the y-axis with the local symmetry turned on. That is not the shape that I wanted. Let's mirror. Okay, you're not in the spot that I want, but that's okay. And then move up. Just trying out shapes. Nah. Nah. I think we're onto something there, though. Yeah. I'll leave it there. See how I feel about it later. Ooh. That could be cool. We're officially in making it up realm. My favorite realm. Yeah, that could be cool, especially if I make this intersection point a bit thinner. We might get something that's kind of elegant and unique. Again, it's gonna get a little wobbly because I keep using my move brush. But I can, one, be more careful with my move brush, or two, use this as like a sketch, and then I can remodel it later with some more intention. That's kind of cool. I do have this really interesting ornament brush that I can kind of tack on top as well. Sean says, since I missed the on-stream answer, post art and server or keep a surprise. Han, I already showed it on stream and everything. You missed it. I liked it very much. I think that'd be cool. Oh, that looks kind of like an angel. To me, anyway. Kind of see angel wings there. I can't remember who it was who originally suggested a crest or something on the chest. I think it was Wendelia, and they made a joke about jumping the gun. But we got there, and it's cool. We got cool details happening. Way to go, me. I do not pay attention. That's okay. You're just vibing. We're all just hanging out, having a good time. There is not going to be a pop quiz. Don't you worry. That would be really fun and chaotic, though, if we did like a pop quiz and whoever got it wrong got banned for 5 minutes at a time. That'd be a fun way to make this cozy stream not cozy at all. I'm not against it. This is looking so cool. I'm having a lot of fun adding these little details and stuff. Where else can I add this emblem that I now really like? Ooh, I realize now that we haven't had a ton of runes in a while. Danger zone. You're right, it has been a while. I used to fit runes on everything. It was like, it needs a necklace, runes, or belt. Yeah. All right, this has been a ton of fun. I need a break. I need to go eat a bagel or something. And then maybe we'll come back and resume. How long has it been? What is happening? If it's just been a long stream already, I'm just going to leave y'all. It's been almost 2 hours. Are you tired of being low on adrenaline in a low-stakes situation? Now introducing the Tavern Pop Quiz. That is funny. Optimistical says, I just showed this to the DM and they cackled and giggled. Oh, I love me a good DM cackle. That is like the ultimate like stamp of approval. So glad. Awesome, awesome. Just Single says, a more serious question. Do you have a tutorial for wings specifically? Yes. I don't know if they're currently on the website because I moved some stuff around, but I got you. I can send you that assignment after this. Absolutely. Just Single, if you could DM me now, just saying wing assignment so I don't forget, that would be awesome. Showfire says, Mia, if you were to add detail like on the ref pauldron, how would you do it? IMM or stamps or something else? We're talking about this? I got you. Oh, I closed YouTube. That. All right, fix it. All right, so if you want to add detail like this, you got options. 1, you can just grab like a brush like this and stamp stuff on and use matchmaker brush. 2, you can use a stamp. If you use like an alpha or a stamp, just make sure you have pretty high resolution. Could we not lose all of our trim when we do that? Thank you. Do I have a stamp brush that would make sense for this demo? Let me look. Not really. And I know you know how. I recommend using like the layer brush, for example, changing your alpha to wherever you want that stamp to be, and then drag a rectangle. And you can kind of add that detail. By increasing the intensity and lowering the focal shift, you'll get a more crisp result. But none of that really looks like this pattern, right? So here's how you do that. This is 16 million points. Let's fix that. There we go. What I like to do is to paint it myself using the curved tube brush. So grab curved tubes. Make sure your picker is on continuous Z, not once Z, continuous. And now you can kind of like click and drag and do these swirls. If they're consistent thickness, they're just not going to look as nice. I recommend just taking the moment to go to your stroke menu, curve modifiers, make sure size is highlighted. No highlight bad. Yes, highlight good. And now FV. I click that because it flips the graph. All this means is that as the length of the brush continues, the size gets smaller. I don't want it quite this severe, so I'll do it more like this. And now it has a taper. It just makes things look a little more elegant. So I can look at this right here. You can kind of do, that kind of has a taper right there. And then there's a bottom shape That kind of meets it right here. Now, I don't care if I do a great job at these things lining up, and I'll show you why in just a second. Let's do kind of like a swirl or something. I need to decide what shape I want. That's good enough. All right, what's cool about this method is that each one of these pieces we drew on is its own polygroup. So now I can grab my Move Topological brush and I can like edit it really easily and all independent from each other. So I don't care if it's super well, like matching up seamlessly, because I can just go through later and just scoot it over. There you go. Just make sure you don't get too far away from the actual mesh like this to give a hole. That's not ideal. And there you go. You can kind of start to get the detail that you see here, just like that. There are brushes that do an even better job at this. I think there's like a Curve Alpha hairbrush that pretty much does this for you. Or another method we did not talk about that's also really fast. Let's do it. You're like, hey, how can you do this? And I'm like, here's 13 ways you can do that. If that's on a meal tutorial, I don't know what it is. Another thing you could do is grab the Orb Cracks brush or Damn Standard or something similar. Make sure you have RGB highlighted. Click C on the color you want to be your highlight. And then you can, of course it didn't work. And then you can drag that shape. Why are you not doing color? It's like, because I mock you. Anyway, you can also do this manually. Sometimes I do this because it's just faster, honestly, than messing with a curve brush. If I'm really confident in the shapes that I want, I'll just go through and do it like that. Now let me fight why this doesn't have color on it. Being so silly. I have RGB on. RGB intensity is 100. Color. Let's make both of my colors here white. What the heck? I probably have to reset brush settings. Sometimes ZBrush just gets upset. If you know, like you're really confident in your tools and stuff and ZBrush is not, like it's not doing what you think, it might just be a ZBrush bug. And usually to reset that, you come down here to reset all brushes. And then it should work, but I don't know what our issue is right now, honestly. Is my paintbrush working? Yes. Oh, I know why. Orb Cracks is a custom brush. It's possible it's just not being compatible with Polypaint right now for whatever reason. But I know Damn Standard works, so you should work. Yep. Whatever. Some custom brushes that you get online may not behave the way that you expect them to with color. Just keep that in mind. But yeah, there's another way of doing that. Me. This is probably the fastest. It's just to hand draw it, honestly. I am probably never going to use curved tubes again. That was way faster. Cool. There's your 10-part answer. Hope you enjoyed. Oh, that makes sense. I didn't want to add tons of subdiv just for a small emblem or detail. Yeah, so you can do the curve. If you don't add tons of subdiv for that, in that case, your best bet would be curved tube. Just keep in mind that if you have subdivision levels, curved brushes don't work. You can always duplicate a copy of that subtool, delete subdiv on that, and draw on top of it. My keys is so upset that I'm in a different spot. Yeah, I'm in the same room. I have rotated 90 degrees. I love there's like 5 messages I see now. My keys is like, did you move? What's different? Why is that different? Yes, there has been a change. You guys are sweet. All right, this is pretty good. This is pretty cool. Yeah. I'm starting to get tired. I'm happy with this 2-hour stream. I think that's fine with that. We're going to stream again tomorrow. I am going to work on this more today, so you guys will miss out a little bit. There'll be something different. Maybe I'll start posing it off stream. We'll see. But yeah, cool stuff. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I always have a great time with y'all. Something else I was supposed to talk about. Oh yes, I have a Kickstarter running right now. It's in its last 48 hours, 72 hours. It's in the final hours. If you haven't checked that out, please do. Just give it a look. I'm really proud of how the project's done. It's almost hit $2,000, and that's a really good way to get a request done quickly from me. The Enchanted Architect tier works a lot like the Legendary tier on Patreon. It lets you put in a request, except the turnaround's gonna be a lot faster because it's a Kickstarter. So that timeline is just a little bit different on how that behaves. Hence why it's more expensive too. All right, that is everything. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I think that's it. Okay, get out.